The StarCraft Incident. On August 5, 2005, 28-year-old Lee Sung-seop entered an internet cafe in Daegu, South Korea. He ordered a soda, logged into StarCraft, and began playing. Hours turned into days. Witnesses said he rarely moved from his chair, taking only short breaks to the toilet. By the second night, he had been at the keyboard for nearly 50 hours. His posture sagged, his eyes bloodshot, but he kept clicking. The cafe manager urged him to stop, but Lee shook his head and loaded another match. At dawn on the third day, he suddenly collapsed. Paramedics arrived quickly, but he was unresponsive. At the hospital, doctors confirmed cardiac arrest brought on by exhaustion, dehydration, and blood clotting from immobility. He was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The Pokemon electrocution. On July 9, 2017, in Iloilo City, Philippines, a 12-year-old boy was playing Pokemon Go with friends. They wandered near a construction site while searching for digital creatures. The boy, holding his phone, climbed onto a metal structure close to overhead power lines. Witnesses said he lost his balance and reached out for support. His hand made contact with a live electrical cable. A loud crack followed, and he collapsed instantly. Friends screamed for help, and bystanders rushed over. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but the boy showed no signs of life. He was pronounced dead from electrocution. Authorities confirmed that he had been distracted by the game, which led him into a dangerous area. The accident was covered by local news outlets and cited as part of a series of Pokemon Go-related fatalities worldwide, where players, focused on the screen, entered dangerous environments. The Minecraft Incident. On July 19, 2015, a 17-year-old boy entered an internet cafe in Pampanga, Philippines. He logged into Minecraft and began what became a marathon session. Witnesses said he played for almost 3 straight days, taking only brief naps at the desk. Staff grew concerned when they noticed he had not eaten properly and had barely moved from his chair. On the third day, as he leaned forward to type, his body went limp. He collapsed onto the keyboard and did not get up again. Friends called for help, and staff attempted first aid. Paramedics arrived, but pronounced him dead at the scene. Local doctors later cited cardiac failure linked to severe exhaustion and dehydration after continuous gaming. The Call of Duty swatting. On December 28, 2017, 2 Call of Duty players in the United States got into an online argument over a $1.50 wagered match. One player, Casey Viner, asked another, Tyler Barris, to swat his opponent by calling police to his address. Barris dialed 911 in Los Angeles and reported a fake hostage situation in Wichita, Kansas. The address he gave was not his rival's, but belonged to 28-year-old Andrew Finch, who had no connection to the dispute. Police surrounded Finch's home. When he opened the door, officers ordered him to raise his hands. Confused, he moved slightly, and an officer fired a single shot. Finch was killed instantly in front of his family. The case shocked the gaming world. Barris was later sentenced to 20 years in prison, while Viner received a shorter sentence. The Wii Fit Incident. On December 28, 2009, 25-year-old Tim Eves from Sittingbourne, Kent, received a Nintendo Wii Fit as a Christmas present. Excited to try it, he began using the console's fitness programs on Boxing Day. Family members later reported that he exercised intensely for several hours with a balance board and aerobic minigames. That evening, after finishing a workout, he complained of chest pains and shortness of breath. His mother urged him to rest. Minutes later, he collapsed in the living room. Paramedics were called immediately. Despite resuscitation attempts, he was declared dead at the scene. An inquest found that Tim had suffered a sudden cardiac arrhythmia. Though rare, doctors noted that strenuous physical activity can sometimes trigger fatal heart irregularities in young adults. The case was widely reported in the UK as the first known death linked to Wii Fit activity. The Counter-Strike Incident. On February 26, 2010, in Chongqing, China, 2 men in their 20s sat in an internet cafe playing Counter-Strike. They began to argue over strategy and insults in the game. Witnesses said the argument grew heated, with both shouting loud enough to attract attention across the room. One man stood up and pushed the other. Staff intervened and briefly separated them, but the fight continued outside the cafe. The aggressor grabbed a knife and stabbed his opponent multiple times in the chest and abdomen. Bystanders called for help, but the victim collapsed on the pavement before paramedics arrived. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police quickly arrested the attacker, who admitted to losing his temper during the argument. The killing was widely reported in Chinese media as another example of internet cafe disputes turning deadly. Local authorities used the case to highlight the growing problem of violence connected to online gaming in public spaces.